Last time? The Xiongnu, and the nomadic peoples. Across the classical centuries, surrounding the rise of the Xiongnu, new questions were taking root around the world. Alongside inherited myths, people began asking new questions about life and order. History Episode 31. Classical Era. The Axial Age. Part 1. What was the Axial Age? In the 20th century, the philosopher Jaspers proposed one interpretation, calling this era the Axial Age. These changes appeared roughly between the 8th and 2nd centuries BCE in China, India, Iran, the Levant, and Greece. Despite limited direct contact, similar questions emerged in several regions during broadly the same centuries. People carried on their traditions, while also beginning to question anew the order of human life and the world. This framework is not accepted by all scholars, and the debate continues today. Part 2. China asks how to restore order. Amid recurring war and disorder, people began asking anew how to govern and live rightly. Confucius taught that humaneness and proper conduct could restore order to society. Humaneness meant caring for others, shown by sharing food with someone in need. The teachings preserved in the Laojia emphasize non-coercive action and living in accord with the natural way. Confucius wandered from state to state, seeking a ruler willing to hear his teachings. Part 3. India seeks a way beyond suffering. Some Upanishadic teachings held that Atman, the self, and Brahman, ultimate reality, were one. They asked who they were and what lay at the source of the world, seeking answers through meditation and dialogue. Like salt dissolved invisibly in water, reality was said to be present within all things. According to Buddhist tradition, a prince in northern India left his palace after confronting old age, sickness, and death. After years of ascetic practice, he is said to have found a path beyond suffering beneath a Bodhi tree. He taught that craving gives rise to suffering. He taught that suffering could cease when craving was brought to an end. He taught a middle way between indulgence and asceticism, practiced through the Noble Eightfold Path. Followers gathered together, forming a community devoted to shared practice. Part 4. Ancient Iran. Choosing between truth and falsehood. Exactly when the ancient Iranian prophet Zoroaster lived is still debated among scholars. He is said to have taught choosing truth over falsehood was tied to cosmic order. Zoroastrian tradition also taught that souls would be judged after death, according to their deeds. Humans were seen as moral beings who had to choose between good and evil. Part 5. Greece between myth and reason. The philosopher Thales regarded water as the fundamental principle of all things. Heraclitus saw the world as being in constant change. Socrates questioned people in the Athenian Agora about knowledge and virtue. The Delphic maxim "Know thyself" became closely associated with Socratic self-examination. He was sentenced to death on charges of impiety and corrupting the young. Part 6. The Levant. Prophets, and monotheistic faith. Amid political crisis and exile, prophets reinterpreted faith and community. Some prophetic traditions portrayed Yahweh not merely as Israel's protector, but as a God of all nations and history. The prophets demanded justice and mercy, speaking out against the oppression of the powerless. These prophetic traditions became an important foundation for later monotheistic religions. Part 7. Why did these changes arise in similar periods? Across these regions, thinkers preserved tradition, while also re-examining human life and world order. One explanation points to similarly intense political upheaval across these regions. As writing and texts grew in importance, ideas could be preserved and shared more widely. Another explanation suggests ideas may have partly traveled along ancient trade routes. Yet no explanation has one broad agreement, and the question remains open. Whatever the cause, it remains striking that different civilizations raised similar questions across these centuries. Part 8. What the Axial Age left behind. Teachings from this era became roots of several major religions and philosophies. Even today, many people continue to find meaning in teachings from this era. The Axial Age was not a single answer, but many questions raised across different parts of the world. Born in different lands, these questions continued to shape human thought for centuries. The questions of the Axial Age did not disappear, but were asked again in later ages. Next time, we return to politics and empire to examine the fall of the Western Roman Empire. The fall of the Western Roman Empire became a major marker of Europe's transition from antiquity to the Middle Ages. That story continues in the next episode.